Good morning, Patriots. Welcome back to this American Sunrise, live from right there in beautiful downtown West Palm Beach. Getting closer and closer to Easter, which is why we've got that beautiful Jesus doll, which we're going to get to in a moment. But first, we've got a segment we like to call it 2024 is Getting Saucy. Hopefully it's going to be nice and warm wherever you're watching. Come Easter time, get that grill out. Support these great Patriots at Red State Barbecue. Use that promo code RAV10, and you're going to get 10% off. In the meantime, we mentioned Jesus Doll. We're going to bring in Terrence because he had a little trouble figuring out how to get it started. And so we thought we'd bring in our friend David Morrow, who launched this great company, to give you a little lesson, I guess, a little explanation. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Thank you,
David. So good. So, Terrence, why don't you explain what happened? Because most people get this doll, and they say, this is beautiful, I'm going to show the kids, I'm going to show the grandkids. And it took you a little longer than the average person to figure it out.
It absolutely did, David. I figured it out. So initially, I was pushing the button and nothing was going on. So quite honestly, I had to be a bit introspective and pray a little bit more because I thought that I had done something wrong in my life, that I went left when I was supposed to go right. But I figured out that there's apparently a little piece of paper, like literally about this big, that was in the back of the doll that I had to pull out in order for my Jesus doll to start speaking. So now my Jesus doll said, follow me. He is speaking to me again. My Jesus doll loves me. For a minute, though, I must admit, I had doubts. I thought, but Jesus doll don't love me. I was a little scared.
So have you encountered this problem before? Is this rare?
We get it a few times, and Terrence, you are forgiven. It's okay. It's
you are forgiven.
Forgiven.
Hey, before anything else, the Bible says, let another man praise you. And I want to do just that here. Because, Ed, you and Karyn and Terrence, you guys have made American Sunrise the absolute best morning news show on TV, period.
Oh.
Right? And what's exciting and special is you're not just expanding viewership. You guys are focused on cultivating a community.
Yeah.
Right? That's the RAV family, which is you guys behind the desk and the audience watching and everybody contributing on Getter, the real Americans you interview on location and at rallies.
Right.
And it's us sponsors who you've given voice to who are just real American companies that share the same RAV family values.
Well, thank you.
Wow.
We're glad to have you part of that RAV family.
So big praise to you guys, and it's truly special. And we're truly honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, and we're honored to have you. And I just want to say, I fell in love with this product before
you were the one who brought it and
sponsor.
said, we got to talk to this guy.
I brought this on the show because I saw it somewhere else on somebody else's show, and I immediately bought one. And I brought it in, and I said, we have to reach out to him because I'm in love with this product.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for doing that. I'm glad to be here. And a lot of the RAV family out there has bought them. And from what we're seeing on Getter and our reviews, they love them.
That's great.
Yeah, how can you not?
Can you tell us how you came up with the idea? What was the entrepreneurial spirit that made you say, hey, this might be an interesting way to teach children about the Bible, about God?
Well, I've got 3 kids of my own. They were young, and they had tons of stuffed animals. One day I had the epiphany that they have no spiritual value. These toys have there's like empty calories, right? Mm.
Yeah.
So we wanted to, I looked for a Jesus doll that spoke Bible verses that didn't exist, and here we have it today. So, we've seen that it's very important to reach kids early and early and often. We say give Jesus always and in all ways.
Yeah, it's just cute. It just makes you happy. And you hear the Bible phrases like, I find myself playing with it and pressing the button, in my office just to cheer me up. And we actually had our office praying the Our Father with the Jesus doll. Very naturally, I gave it to the owner of our company, and he pressed the hand and it said it, and everybody went into prayer, and it was a beautiful thing. It brought everybody together.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
It was great.
I've got to say, I typically have this sitting on my desk or here on the desk in the studio, and there are times when, like any place, you get a little frustrated and you may use language that's not quite as appropriate as it could be. This has really kind of helped remind me to to speak a bit more like Jesus, because literally the other day I was getting a little heated, and I probably would have said something else, and I looked down and I was like, yeah. So, I think there is obviously value in this as well, in terms of kind of reminding you to turn the other cheek and to do as Jesus would do.
My wife is a preschool teacher. She teaches 4-year-olds, and as a Christian preschool. And as we're getting closer to the Easter season, she asks the kids, hey, why do we celebrate Easter? And everybody like raising their hands, the Easter Bunny, you know. And
Yeah.
it you know, it's kind of sad. But what's interesting about that is those kids were not taught that. They were not taught that it's the Easter Bunny's why. They interpreted it because they got Easter
A
baskets
cute
last year
basket with a bunny.
that look like this. They have Easter bunnies and chocolate bunnies and all this stuff.
Sure.
And they interpreted that and they inferred that, and so that's how they're starting out. So what we're trying to say is, hey, let's start out with a Jesus doll, a Jesus basket, you know, and you know, chocolate cross instead of a bunny, a Jesus coloring book or a book instead of a you know, the Easter Bunny book. So it's just a change of pace. It's a change of direction. But that change of direction can have a lifelong impact.
Good.
I think it is the visual impact too, which you just brought up, which I didn't really think of before in process, but you talked about these kids interpreting it. They're interpreting it out for the visual, and I just said how happy the visual makes me when I look down and I see this doll. It's just a happy moment.
It absolutely is. Do you have plans for any other products? Have you been thinking about how you may expand?
Yeah, absolutely. So this year we're going to be rolling out a Spanish Jesus doll. So that's going to be big. We're excited about that, and we have a couple other things up our sleeve. But our mission is the Great Commission, which is to reach and make disciples of all children and all nations. So you know, we're going to start here. We're going to go into South America and then worldwide after that.
Wow. And I want to say thank you because you also donated dolls to the families in East Palestine, and we gave this to a food bank, and they're going to be given out to children in the community. So they're going to learn some values and have an adorable doll.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you guys for helping out with that.
Of
No,
course.
it's all
Thank
to you.
you.
I want to do the voice. If you ever do a Moses doll in the Ten Commandments, I want to do the voice of Moses, please. I'm just going to put my bid in. You don't even have to pay me. I just want to do the voice of Moses with the Ten Commandments.
We already have James Earl Jones under contract.
Oh.
Now, Terrence,
I'm
you can be
gonna use
Moses.
that one every
It's
day.
all good. There will be no Moses doll. I can promise you that.
No
Okay.
Moses doll.
No Moses song?
No, Moses, really?
Okay. I mean, I think he'll be kind of cute.
Interesting.
Just Jesus.
So
Just
the
Jesus.
Spanish-speaking Jesus, I'm assuming it has a lot to do with. I'm Catholic. A lot of Hispanic Catholics in America, around the world. A lot of Hispanic people of faith, Spanish-speaking. You're talking about expanding into South America. Talk about, you know, there are people who might assume that it's a white face always, and in fact there are people of all backgrounds who obviously are praying, show their faith. And I'm assuming you want to be inclusive in the sense of trying to open doors and say, hey, we're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know the doll. You'll be the first. You'll get the first look at the doll, but
No, we can't wait.
it's going to be great. And you know, again, it's the smile, it's the open arms. That's universal, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's something that's universal, and that's something we want to share around the world. And it may look a little different in every country, but it's going to sound a little different. But we're going worldwide with it.
It's
That's
amazing.
fantastic.
It's beautiful. It really is. And it's just something, you know, I can't wait to give one to my new granddaughter that's going to be born in September. So
great.
I already have one set aside
Congratulations.
for her.
That's terrific. There was not the Jesus doll, is what you're saying.
No, that's
All
right.
right. David Morrow, I'm not sure. I was going to make a joke, but Jesus is here. And,
Exactly.
I feel the punch.
Exactly. Exactly.
gave his only son, so that whoever believes in him will not perish, but have everlasting life.
Did you get the message?
I
Yeah.
did.
There
And now
you
I
go.
understand
Sure
why
did.
you keep that on the anchor desk. We'll have to have one here as well.
Absolutely.
Terrence, appreciate you being here. David Morrow, have people can go to jesusdoll.com, use that promo code RAV, get 10% off. We appreciate hearing your story.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank
All right.
you.